I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good morning, Mariana Ruiz. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
Great, thank you. How about you?
I'm excellent. It's excellent as can be. Great pleasure to connect with you at this time. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am currently in Albany, New York.
All right, all right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Well, I believe it was the Impact Driven Entrepreneur podcast.
Yeah, you're a podcaster. Yeah.
hmm
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Yeah, so my mission is really to connect and serve with people who want to make a difference in the world and help them to do sales in a way that is both serviceful and impactful for their business and really just from a very kind and loving place. So that is my goal and my mission. And that's what I do over in the Impact Driven Entrepreneur podcast.
Ooh, so who did you learn that skill from of being kind and understanding the value that brings into business?
I would say it's hard to go like to one person. It was just my lifelong lesson. I used to be a nurse, and as a nurse, you have to be kind, and it's just part of our nature. And so I always had a love for business. And when I transitioned into having my own business, I wanted to run it from a place of integrity and love and service. So,
It was great. And where did you connect with the idea to do a podcast?
well, I've been listening to podcasts since probably 2008, before they were really even that popular. The first podcast I ever listened to was Weight Loss from the Inside Out. It's all about using your mindset to lose weight, and I was able to lose a lot of weight using that system, and eventually became a health coach because it also meshed well with my nursing background, and then I transitioned into business coaching.
Wow, from a podcast. Wow.
Yeah, podcasting is amazing.
Yeah, now you are podcasting. Wow, that's fascinating. There are the challenges that go with podcasting. What's been one of the biggest challenges you've encountered?
Oh boy, definitely getting the exposure for it, and growing that like additional listenership. So I thought, I had a blog that was doing fairly well. I was having about 1,500 visitors a month. And when I switched to podcasting, I made a very big error thinking that podcast or the blogging audience would transfer over. And it honestly didn't. So it's been a slow growth process for that. And I think for everybody listening, just know that your audiences on different platforms will be different.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you definitely are bringing wealth right now in terms of knowledge. Do you transcribe your podcast?
No, and I think I want to start doing it, but I don't know. I wonder if it'll drive down the number of listeners.
Well,
But
I
again,
think it'll
we
be
just
fascinating, yeah, because your audience loves to read, right?
yeah, so I think it would be a fun experiment
Yeah,
for
test
sure.
it, test it, test it, most definitely. So, why will you continue to repeat podcasting, even though, I mean, it hasn't really been as popular in terms of the listenership? Why will you continue?
I feel like the connection that we make on the podcast is so much more impactful and deeper. So my podcast listeners know pretty much everything about me.
Yeah, love it.
And we still do generate sales from the podcast, even though the listenership isn't like growing exponentially month over month. So I think there's something really to be said about a depth of a relationship and really helping people in a different way. So I think that there's just still so much value there. Plus, I just love it.
Yeah, do what you love, definitely. Well, tell us one other thing, Mariana, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Wow, definitely sales activities and just building my business.
Mm,
So I look at marketing and sales as two different entities of my business. Um, and I really shied away from sales. I mean, I did not want to do it. I wanted somebody to come into my business and do that all for me. And it's been a growth process for me to embrace sales and like I said, do it differently. But one thing that I notice is, you know, staying with that consistency in the sales activities has really allowed me to grow my business and to grow my income.
mm. And how does that make you feel now?
Now I absolutely love it. And I think a big part of it is because I really have owned and gotten to see how amazing it all is when you get to take somebody through that process. So even whether I'm purchasing or I'm the provider, right? So I purchased a mastermind, and then we went on a mastermind retreat recently, and it like suddenly dawned on me one moment while I was there in the mastermind, like meeting these people who I've been connecting with for the last year every single week, and we finally got to hug and meet in person. And it was like, you know what? If our coach hadn't sold us this program, we wouldn't have this incredible relationship and this incredible bond. And I believe we'll be lifelong friends. And so I think it's seeing the transformation that can happen has allowed me to really embrace all of it.
Mm, that's amazing. I love it. Well, amazing audience. You're hearing it live here from Marina Ruiz. Again, she is the podcast host of Impact Driven Entrepreneur. Do check that out. Marina, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Marina, what is your earliest childhood memory?
So I think it was when I was with my nana in Venezuela. I'm originally from Venezuela, and we used to have these tortoises, and we had these tortoises that were like bigger than my head, and that big tortoise had babies, and I think it was like one or two. And we were just playing out in the patio together and just playing with the animals and just being in nature with my nana who took care of me sometimes. And that is like my earliest childhood memory.
Oh, why do you think this memory is so clear?
I think it was probably just the connection with nature and the love and the connection that I had with her was really beautiful.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
It has really grounded me. So remembering what's important, our family relationships, and life and growth and the life cycle.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Absolutely.
I love the idea, my friend, of what kindness can look like, specifically to your decisions. That definitely can take a slow beginning. You've said that you've transferred to the podcast, and as much as it isn't as fast as others claim their podcast to be, you delved into the idea of being kind, one, but also building better relationships. And I think it's something that you desire. And to see you with the tortoises, right? And just understanding how kind and gentle they are as animals, and that being your earliest childhood memory, and then your grandmother there is just fascinating to me.
Thank you. Yeah, and I believe tortoises live and grow slowly, right? And they live a long time. So I think that's a beautiful analogy. Thank you.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh, I like to move it, move it. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the what was the animal in Madagascar, right?
Yeah, that sings it. My kids love it.
Yeah. I immediately saw him gyrating his waist, right? That's amazing. Well, my friend, we've arrived at our destination now, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Marina?
Ready?
Have you chosen Marina? I'm like, could you say your name, please? Could you roll the Marina the way you said it, please?
Yeah, Mariana.
Mariana, that's all right. Mariana, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Definitely my kids.
Are you married?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
2.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, but I call it the universe higher power.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
Or about 3 hours a week?
Probably.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
More than 8 because I work online.
If you had to share with us, Mariana, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
You have the power to make an impact in someone's life by sharing your message and your business talents with the world.
I love it. Mariana, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, if anyone listening is an entrepreneur that wants to make a difference in the world, come and check out the Impact Driven Entrepreneur podcast.
Love it. Mariana Ruiz, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.